Good to go? Fan-dabby-dozy. Brilliant. Right, now let's kick it off. We'll make it interesting. VP communities, can I have you to the stage, please? Let's give a round of applause to our VP community. Okay, take a seat, gentlemen. Just to let you know, everyone that's tweeting in, if anyone is voting, obviously you're all going to vote. If anyone's tweeting in hashtag Trent votes and just saying vote for this candidate, we're not going to stick that up on the screen. The screens are for questions, so any questions that you have, please make sure you tweet those in. Right, we'll kick it off. Who should we start with? We'll start with Josh this time. 30 seconds as to why you're the good VP candidate. Are you ready?
Hi, so Hi, so my name's Josh. I'm also known as that guy on the horse. One of my main points is to put student buses on SU nights out, so basically it'll take you from the venue to your home doorstep. I'm also going to be promoting extra mental health awareness for the next year, and I'm going to be setting up a web chat support system for all Trent students. So stay fresh, vote Josh, and as you all saw last night, I'm on a horse.
Hey guys, my name is Laurie. I'm running for VP Community. Why should you vote me? Well, besides working with Student Union for 2 years as part-time officer, I've got experience, I've got skills, and I know what can be done. I'm offering manifesto, some good points like microwaves and kettles at NTU buildings, which will help all of us to save money. I'm offering support for part-time officers and many other points you can see on manifesto. So make sure you vote me, #1. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much, gentlemen. Okay, so your first question. How will you best support all 8 of the student officers to ensure they get the most out of their role while doing the best for the characteristics they represent?
Well, that's one of my key points in manifesto. I've been part-time officer myself for 2 years now. I know it's lacking support. There's not enough training, not enough, not enough profile for our officers. Most people don't know who they are. Most people never heard of them. I know what can be done, and I know how it can be done, and I will make sure it will get done.
So if you read my manifesto, you'll see that some of my points, one of my main ones, is of course to increase campaigns and student events, especially based around mental health, healthcare, and the LGBT events, which would basically use all of the different student officers. I would be in contact with all those different student officers over the course of the year to set up these sorts of events. One of my other points also to bring in minority aspects into the university. So a lot of minority groups who don't really have the proper representation so far at Trent, I bring them back in.
Brilliant, thank you ever so much, gentlemen. Do I see any questions from the floor at this time?
Okay. We already have quite a hard time reaching student parent groups. How do you feel that you could best reach student parents?
Is that the vote?
Well, one of my points certainly with the parents groups at Trent, I did speak to parents groups at Trent, and they told me specifically that they wanted more facilities during Freshers Week, such as places to put their children whilst they go around the Freshers Fair. So it'll be things like that, along with other campaigns and supporting events that would allow me to help out that particular group at Nottingham Trent University.
Well, in the past we've had some social events for parent students, and they haven't been that successful, but because there's not enough promotion for it. I think if we create social events that are directly focused for parent students, we can bring them together, build community.
Thank you. We've got a question that's come from the Twitter feed, and this one's to Josh. Josh, are you worried your web chat support system will turn into a dating site?
Well, next year, I'm not looking to create the next Trent Tinder, let's put it that way. So this web chat support system will be run by volunteers. It'll be for serious questions only. Obviously, all the volunteers will be trained. So we will be able to avoid things like, obviously, if students are getting drunk or whatever and they want to post on there, then we'll have the facilities available and the technology available just to cut that chat off straight away if it's not serious.
Thank you. Do I see any more questions from the floor from candidates? No? Okay. I've got one for Laurie. Laurie, you mentioned improvement of social areas for international students. How exactly would you do this?
Well, first of all, we can utilize global lounges. We've got 2 global lounges at City and over here. Most people have never even heard of it. We can definitely use that space. There's already some events happening. They're not big profile yet, but we can improve on that. Secondly, we can propose more inter-society events. So cultural societies should well, mingle with other societies and yeah.
Thank you. Do I see a question over there? Liz. Gentleman that's standing up.
Me to ask one.
Yeah, so you're going to put a lot of support into things like mental health and the minority groups, all the big things that need a lot of attention. What about your everyday student who doesn't need much help from the SU and they just sort of wander around doing their work? What one point are you going to bring to the student union that's going to help that person without them even realising it? Do you understand the question? Yeah. So obviously you're going to be wanting these big things for people with mental health awareness, minority groups. What about the parent students? What about the everyday student who doesn't need those particular support groups? What one thing you do just to help that they enjoy themselves, have a better welfare at Trent?
Okay.
Do you understand it?
I think it's a very good question.
Thanks, Liz.
Chaos microwaves for every student? Joking. We can, well, this is community position. We need to build community, and that's what we need to work on. And I think utilizing our part-time officers, building smaller minority communities, and then bringing them all together, because minorities create majority.
To answer your question, I did talk a lot about big issues, obviously, like mental health, the minority groups. For the everyday Trent student, I would want to bring, like Laurie said, a sense of community. I would get them to help out maybe on some of these campaigns. Obviously, we'd make these campaigns a lot bigger, so they'd be more involved in the issues that are going on at Trent in terms of welfare and community. So I've already talked, about the parents group, where I said that in Freshers Week they'd have a place to put their children. This is just one of the examples that I would bring to everyday Trent students who don't have big issues like mental health to deal with.
Is there any more questions?
I'll ask one.
That's right, you can do one. Go on.
So at the moment we're volunteering, and when we put on events or volunteering projects, we have quite a high dropout rate. So people kind of sign up, and then maybe about a third of those will drop out. What are you going to do to hopefully retain these volunteers who do sign up?
Well, we can work on the incentives, first of all. There need to be some sort of incentive for all volunteers. Secondly, we could make our volunteering campaigns a bit more fun, some sort of joy factor in it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
We said that we have a high dropout rate of volunteers. Well, the first thing I do is find out why. Why are these volunteers dropping out? I will then address those issues. But if it is a case of people aren't enjoying it anymore, I'd ask them why. What can we do to make it more fun? What can we do to change this at Trent? Because obviously, I can't just give you promises without knowing exactly what their issue is with volunteers. I'd want to find out and then address those issues personally with those people.
Okay. Any more questions from the floor, ladies and gents? Fantastic. Well, I think that's it for VP Community. Thank you ever so much. Give a round of applause for the gentleman. I'm just thinking. Next up, do we have our women student officers around? Women's way. Come and take to the stage. Right. Okay. Okay, so let's hear from Lola, our Women's Student Officer candidate. You've got 30 seconds, Lola, to tell us why you'd be best for the job.
My name's Lola Idris, and I'm going to tell you why I feel I should be the future Women's Student Officer of Nottingham-Trent University. Why vote for me? Vote because it's the right vote to make for your future, and I'm going to tell you why. If I'm elected, I'm going to get across that the female students are strong, able and talented, and we're not an underdog at Trent. Sorry. I would like the opportunity to be able to make a difference and improve the university experience for women. As a woman, I'm proud of my identity, so I feel this role is perfect for me because I want to protect.
Sorry, Lola, that's time. Thank you ever so much. I've got a statement that's been submitted from Jen, who is our other Women's Student Officer candidate. So I'm going to try to attempt to read this out within her time frame. And hopefully I won't mess it up. Sorry, Jen, if I do. Okay. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there in person this afternoon, but my studies are the only thing that I will prioritise over this position. I'm very passionate about this post, and I'll put my all into it to be the best Women's Student Officer I can be. I have experience in being a student officer, as I'm currently the BME. So, to begin with, would you want to adopt the position as Equality and Diversity Officer if you are elected?
I'm sorry, could you just repeat that?
Would you want to adopt the position? Sorry, I'll give a bit of background. At the last union meeting, the Women's Officer was voted on by the members to be changed to an Equality and Diversity Officer. Sorry, Equality and Gender Diversity Officer. And that was to be enforced for the next elections. But the question was, would you want to adopt that if elected?
Yeah, that role seems a bit more open, so I wouldn't mind adopting that.
Great. Do we have any questions from the floor for Lola? Yeah, Matthew.
One of the points
Thank you. Do we have any more questions for Lola? No? Okay. I'll go for another one that we've got on the table. Lola, what experience do you have that makes you feel that you'll be the best person for this position?
I've got experience of being like in positions of responsibility. Like at the moment, I'm a law buddy, so like I'm used to having to give people advice and look after students. So I just feel like I can use those skills and transfer it if I become a student officer.
Brilliant. Any more questions from the floor? I've got another tweet here. Can you turn up the volume, please? There we go. Yep, one question at the back. Liz? Come on, hurry up. Run.
Is there a male quality officer? Or is it just
Is there a
female?
male equality officer? Can I answer that? Yeah, because I feel that's not really for candidate. No, there's not a male equality officer. The gender equality officer is to encapsulate both male, female, transgender and non-binary. There you go.
Good answer.
Right, okay, well, I feel like we've run out of questions for you then, Lola. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you ever so much, and a round of applause for Lola. Not very good, any questions. Do I see our mature students officer anywhere? Mature, Dan? No? No, okay. And then BME officer, Paula. Can I just say that this is the first time we've ever had Q&A sessions for our student officers, so it's really, really great that we're getting them on the stage so you guys actually know all the types of representation we have here at Trent and the demographics that we kind of drill down to. So it's the first time. So, whenever you're ready, Paula.
Hi, my name's Paula Macaulay and I'm running for Black and Minority Ethnic Student Officer. You should vote for me because I'm aware of the issues that the BME community at Nottingham Trent face. For example, raised awareness of special dates such as Black History Month. You should vote for me because I'm dedicated to improving the uni experience for BME students. You should vote for me because I'm passionate. You should vote for me because I'm the best option. You should vote Paula Macaulay for BME Student Officer.
Thank you, Paula. Do we have any questions from the floor from Paula? Oh, Livy.
According to our statistics, BME students have the worst retention rate and they drop out more than anyone else. So I just wondered can you think of any reasons for this and would you want to work at improving that?
Well, I can't really think of any specific reasons why more BME students drop out, but one of the things that I was thinking of to keep BME students motivated was maybe having more speakers in for them to know what their options would be during and after university to motivate them to stay on and for them to have opportunities after as well.
Cool, thank you. Any other questions at all? Right. No, I'll go for one that's been tabled. What type of events would you run for BME students?
What type of events?
Events.
Well, for example, Black History Month. I feel like there should be an event at least once a week because it's for the whole month, not just one day. So maybe stuff like fashion shows, cultural events where you can bring all different cultures together so that everyone can experience each other's cultures, stuff like that.
That's really great. Oh, I see a question. Run, Liz, run.
Yesterday, Jem said about how last year she was the BME officer, and how hard it was to get people to come to the events she put on. She said the first and second time she cancelled them because no one ever came. And so I wonder what you were thinking of doing to publicise it and get it out there more than maybe just putting a few posters around and stuff like that.
Well, I feel you need to specifically target the people that you're going for. Obviously, it's a Black and minority ethnic group. So, for example, groups like the African Caribbean Society, maybe go to them to advertise more because obviously I'm a BME student myself and I didn't actually hear about any of the events last year. So I might have gone if I'd actually known about it. So obviously, I just feel we should use the opportunities that we have, SU, there's those big TVs and stuff like that. Just try and target the people that we're aiming for.
Brilliant, thank you. Do you see any more questions from the floor for Paula? We've got one from Katie.
Although promoting a community feel between students is important, part of improving things at Trent will be educating people that don't identify as BME students. How do you feel that you will go about doing this?
As in, just people who aren't BME students. That's quite a hard question. I just feel maybe I'd open the events out to everybody rather than just BME students. So then that will obviously bring in people who aren't BME students so that they can all interact with each other. For example, Black History Month events don't have to just be for Black people. They can be for everyone. It's an educating thing, so more people can learn about it.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much. That's brilliant. Any more questions for Paula? No? Thank you ever so much, Paula. We'll speak to you later on today. Just got a little announcement for some candidates as well. If you've not picked up your flyers, you can do so after this, okay? If not, then they're going to go in the bin. Joking, not really. Okay, so can we have the VP for Education first? Remember, guys, you can all still tweet in. Our fancy new board isn't being used because no one's tweeting us, so tweet us. Please. Just say hi or something. No, just ask a question. You got enough tea? Cool. We'll start with cats, they're in different orders now. Okay, can I just ask all candidates to really hold the microphone to your mouth because nobody can hear what you're saying. Just don't headbutt it like I do. Yes, it is on full volume, obviously we've tried that. Okay, 30 seconds each when you're ready, candidates.
Hi, I'm Kat and I want to be your new VP Education and Representation. I know I can succeed in this role after my experience as course rep, where I'm actively seeking changes for students and on placement last year. I want to give improved training for all course reps, keep the new initiative of Feedback Week so we can learn about students' problems, improve communication between module leaders and work closely with all the execs to get issues dealt with as quickly as possible for students. I'm here to represent all students, so vote Kat.
Hi guys, my name's Hitam Patel and I'm running for VP Education. Right, I'm just going to go straight to the point. The first point is to lobby the development of the Heart of Clifton to avoid any interruptions with studies. Many of you students are worried about disruptions to exams and dissertation work, but we can make sure that you as students are kept in the know about what's going on. Secondly, I aim to bring individual exam feedback. Is it sufficient enough just to have a mark, or do you think you should get better feedback? Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Matt, or Scrimmers for Winners as my campaign says. I think I should be perfect for the role because I'm going for I'm going to try and get you the best. You pay £9 a year, and so obviously you want your money's worth. And also I'm going to do improve visual and audio lectures, and also more contact time with your tutors, and better feedback time and everything. I also want to give you the skills that you need for after university as well, increase the guest speakers that you have in, because I think you need to know what you're going to do afterwards.
Hi guys, I'm Melissa Vaney. So have you ever felt that you're not receiving a £9,000 a year service? You should expect the absolute best because that is what you guys are paying for. Have you ever felt your effort and grade just doesn't add up? I want lecturers to be more accountable for marking that you think is unfair, and I will lobby for changes in the way that feedback is given to you. I work closely with school and course reps to promote the fact that their voice to be heard, and also, after all, we're here for a good degree at the end of the day.
Brilliant, thank you ever so much, candidates. So, to start us off, you all mention or touch upon the course rep system. What improvements would you make to this system? You can start if you want to. Yeah.
Okay, at the moment, there's obviously there's over 900 course reps and school reps. So I think that's a great system in place. What I do is probably the course reps on my course at the moment haven't been attending training. So I'd probably get a better system in to get them all on board to attend training, and that's it.
Personally, I don't think my course reps have been there enough for me. I think I met them once, maybe in first year at the beginning of the year. So I want them to be have a lot more contact time with you, maybe even coming to a lecture and saying what they've met and what they've discussed at that, or maybe to email out to you more. I know there's quite a lot of them, and then there's also school reps on top. So I want to, Hitam said, maybe build on their training and to improve the communication with you, so because at the end of the day they're representing you.
I think the main factor with school and course reps is that people don't know who they are, they're not out there, their faces are not known. I want students to be aware that they are there to implement change and they are your voice. I'd like to introduce faculty reps to improve the school rep and course rep structure, and organise drop-in sessions as well, so make sure that they all know their training.
I am actually a course rep for my forensic science course. And what these guys said is completely fair, but in terms of what I've been doing for my students, I email them every term. I'm always talking to them in lectures, and I do take their problems straight to the staff. So in terms of that, I'm doing the things a course rep should, but there's obviously discrepancies, so we need to get rid of that. And I think when course reps are elected, they should be voted for and have speeches right in the induction week. So they really want to do the job.
Brilliant, thank you ever so much, candidates. I already see a question at the back. Liz. Run, rabbit, run.
So obviously you keep going on about course reps is a big issue. I think we all know that maybe it's not running as well as it could do, and you obviously know as a volunteer it's an unpaid position, isn't it? So what can you do to make the course rep more enthusiastic? What can you add to give them as a role? Because at the moment they're obviously not. It's not a priority because they're not getting paid for it, are they?
Is this to all candidates? All candidates.
I'd agree with what you were saying. That's a really good question. Course reps aren't that enthusiastic. A lot of people just sign up to put it on their CV, which is why I was suggesting when they're actually elected, they should stand up in front of a class and show why they're that committed to wanting to be a course rep, because I wanted to be a course rep. But also the training we received, considering I actually went to it, it was good, but it wasn't inspiring. So I definitely work on the training aspect. I'd really want to get people really enthusiastic about what they're doing.
I'd have some sort of financial incentive, so maybe putting like £10 food credit on or something like that onto your student card every term or something. Just something where students who are willing to do course rep stuff, if they're getting some sort of financial incentive.
I think I'd do pretty much the same. Maybe give them some benefits, maybe give them some money, like Hitton said, or maybe in some other aspects, maybe some print credits or something. I know it's only small, but every little helps for it. And also, I also want to publicise how good it would look on a CV. It would possibly make you stand out a lot more than maybe another candidate. If you've got exactly the same grade as them, then all the added experience does actually help, and that would benefit you for placement, especially if you were going on one or after. Thanks.
I think we just need to promote the fact that it will look good on your CV if you are a course rep. I do know course reps, a lot of them that admit they don't do anything. They just have it on their CV. I think also feedback off the course that they are representing to find out how they're doing it, and if not, then elect someone else. I think elections is a good way to go about it to make sure the candidate for course reps is good enough for the job.
Okay, thank you ever so much, candidates. We've got a question that's come through on the Twitter feed, and this one actually goes to Kat. You say you'll get everything. Sorry, let me start that again. You say we get. Hang on. You say we'll get everything from our course and get our voices heard in the SU. How? Can we say that again?
I'm just thinking.
Okay.
That is one of my key manifesto points. I think it's going to be to do with communication and getting my face out there. So I was thinking I'd really like to attend some of the induction events for freshers, second years, third years at the very beginning of first term, so people actually know who I am. But also attending events throughout the year. For example, we've started Feedback Week this year, and I think if I were to get into the role, I'd really love to attend so I could get face-to-face with the students as they're passing through the SU.
Thank you. We've also got another targeted question, so I'll just take this one as well, off Twitter. This is for Matt. How do you plan to get the lecturers to give more contact hours?
More contact. I think with this we need to show them the benefits of more contact hours. If you could show schools the benefits of things, then I think you can clearly if you could show their grades are going to improve, or maybe because you need to give the students their money's worth at the end of the day. So if you just show them the benefits and the positives of everything, that they outweigh the negatives, then I think they will come around to it, especially.
I've got another one from the Twitter feed, it's just gone mental, for Hitton. Right, you ready for this? You talk about the disruption on Clifton campus. When, if you get VP, won't it be too far in the process to do anything?
I think at the moment, I think the VP role starts in June, but that doesn't mean you have to start in June. If you're elected in, which you find out in 2 weeks' time, you can start implementing things already. So what I would intend to do is just start getting in contact with the main people at the top who are sorting this, and get weekly feedbacks on where things are, so I can at least have some aspect and report back to the students.
Great. Thank you ever so much. We have just had a nice tweet come in for Ellis. but it's far too easy compared to the rest of them. So I'm going to go to my tabled ones. Okay, so why would faculty reps help the course rep system, Ellis? Just to Ellis.
I just think they need more guidance. Basically, the course reps that I've spoken to, and I've spoken to a lot of them, admit freely that they don't do anything. They don't. No one comes up to them. I think we need to let students know that they're there for their voice. Basically, if they have any problems, that they're there for, and the faculty reps will basically oversee this. I just think there needs to be more of a structure for it to make sure that it all goes smoothly and for it to work, basically.
Thank you. I'll go back to the floor now. The gentleman at the front, sorry, you had a question earlier on. Run, Liz, run. You got a pony on your top.
My question is for Hitton, mainly, because it's about the redevelopment of Clifton campus again. You basically discussed what to do it. However, it's a construction project, so it's subject to a legal contract, and it's a codified document. How do you feel about to change that?
Obviously, it might not be as easy to change it, but I think they've started with the library because of construction. But if I can't change it, then obviously the students will be upset. But I intend to at least keep them updated on what's going on every fortnight, getting out a newsletter or something so they can at least have some sort of feedback on what's going on.
Good, thank you. And I see another question. Libby?
This could kind of go out to all of you, although it's more directly to Hitton.
Can't really hear you, Libby.
Sorry. The Clifton redevelopment is happening. We were told very late, so there's not really anything you can do. So it will be going on the whole year, that whoever's in office. We do need to communicate to students. That's already been accepted, and you guys have said that quite a lot. But how actually will you communicate? Because we send newsletters, they don't get read. We send emails, they don't get read. I can tell you the diaries and calendars are very full. You don't have time to constantly be out there in public. There's a lot of behind the scenes. So what actually will you be communicating? How?
Should we start with someone else? You've had loads of starters. Let's go, Ellis. You've been quiet, sorry.
To be honest, I think what we need to do is consider the positives of the development, which will be in the long run. What we need to look into realistically is not stopping the work, but find alternate spaces for the students so we can work in peace. Regardless, building work has taken place till 2016, and in lobbying that, you're elongating the problem for someone else to deal with in the future. It's something that, it's just one of those things, it has to be done for the university, and it's a shame that the second and final year students won't see the benefits, but in the future, so it's not about stopping the work, it's about finding other space for the students.
Libby, was the question to do with how will you go out, how will you communicate to them?
Yeah, what would you be saying to students? Because it is happening. So what is it that you'll be trying to communicate to students, and how you're going to go about doing that?
Like Ellis said, I just want to, you want to reiterate the positive points of it. Like if you look at the city library for a fact, you can just see the improvements it's got. So if you just consider what it's going to do to Clifton, it's going to possibly give you more computers. You're going to have a brand new library. I understand emails and that are not read, but I will be, if I was to get into the position, then you are you don't get much time, but just maybe coming to a lecture every so often and telling it to the school in front of them, or maybe passing the news on to the lecturer to give on. But I think mainly I keep running out of time.
Yeah, I'll kind of just do what Ellis and Matt said as well. Then I'd look to show people the benefits from the City SU and what's that's done, and the Boots Library. At the moment, I know I'm just trying to explain how good the library will be when it's done. Because at the moment, I think there's 66 computers, but then once it's done, there's going to be 300. So just implement how important it will be and the benefits that they'll get from it.
To do with communication, I know in George Eliot there were some big boards telling you all about the plans for Clifton, but as a science student I never have a reason to go into George Eliot, so I'd like to see them more across campus, maybe in the lobby of Erasmus Darwin, so people can look at them because that's where they always go to hand in the coursework. Also, I know there are updates on the student newsletters, but there's so many articles on there you can't get through them all, so I think focused emails just looking at the Clifton proposals and what's going on there.
Thank you. See another question down. I'll take the student at the back first. I think Robbie, is it? Yeah, it's Robbie. Yeah.
Hi, my question's for Ellis. You talk a lot about holding tutors and lecturers accountable for the mark. Do you not find that a little bit counterproductive, as well as sort of undermining their intelligence in sort of challenging the mark every time? Surely there has to be a concrete basis for each piece of work.
It's a really good question. I've just spoke to a lot of people, and I've done 2 courses at this university, and I've experienced with different people, and I've spoke to students, and it's the fact that some students think their marking is so unfair, and one of the reasons is it's bias. Some lecturers mark other people down just through bias, and I've spoken to people about this, and I need to look for a way where there is anonymous hand-ins or something along those lines, so people think that the marking is fair, because a lot of complaints from students is that they feel it is unfair.
Yep, we've got a challenge from Matt.
I just want to say, I think a lot of it is anonymous. I, for one, don't put a name or an end number on my actual thing. And also, what is the definition of unfair? Because I could get a 2-1, and I could think it's unfair that I didn't get a first. So, where do you draw the line on what is unfair?
Most of the people that I've spoken to on my course, I've spoken to people about this and how they feel about it, and a lot of them do agree with me that they know students that the tutors favour over others. Someone come up to me the other day and said that someone on our course got signed off for not getting work experience. The tutor just said to her, "Oh, it's fine, I'll sign you off." But another student got an angry email from the lecturer saying that why they're not. It's just a bit biased on some things. I don't know whether it's just my course or a couple of courses, but that's just my experience and what I've got back from other students.
Sorry. Okay, I'll take another question down at the front for Katie.
This one's to Hitton and Matthew. At the moment, there are 900 course reps. If you were to give people a financial incentive, do you think that's a kind of achievable and a realistic way to spend your budget?
It's obviously not, but at the moment there is no incentive for being a course rep apart from, obviously it looks good on the CV. But at the moment, I know course reps which they really don't think there is much that they're getting, so even if it's something small or just giving them something, or anything which would make them want to be a course rep.
Kate, could you just repeat the end of it? I just didn't catch it all.
I just said that there's 900 course reps at the moment. If you were to give a financial incentive, no matter how small, that would still be quite a large chunk of your budget. And do you think that that's a good way to spend it?
Yeah, I think if you put positives into it, how if that incentive leads to more people possibly coming into being a course rep, how much more communication you'll get between the course reps and the students, which I think could just lead to many other benefits as well. Students would be a lot happier about it, and maybe you could pass on maybe what lecturers said or something like that.
Thank you, gentlemen. I just got a question off the Twitter, and this one's to Kat. What do you mean when you say a real person?
One of the points in my manifesto is about how distant the current officers seem to be from the students. Very few people seem to know who they are, what they can do for the SU and the uni. This would be going back to what I said earlier about getting my face out there, possibly during induction weeks, during feedback weeks, so I'm actually standing in the SU waiting for students to come in, and then I can get their feedback face to face. So that's what I mean by a real person rather than just a name or a face on a board.
I see a challenge from Matthew.
I think you need to consider that there's a lot behind the scenes. For one, I've seen Livy's timetable, so I know how busy she is behind the scenes of it. She is very lucky to actually get some, they are very lucky, and I've spoken to Paddy as well about how much work he does, behind the scenes. You don't see what they actually do behind the scenes. So, and for one, I know, who they all are. So I think, if you get this workload, are you gonna focus more on actually getting the work done, what needs to be done, or actually getting out there and speaking to people?
Response?
That's a completely valid point and something Livy brought up earlier, and I do completely understand that. But the things I'm thinking about are induction week, which is end of September, and as Hitton said, this job starts at the end of June. So I have got time over the summer to think about how I'm going to organise my timetabling. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's going to be a good challenge to face. I think that's it.
Yes. Thank you. Do I see any more questions from the floor? I see Carrie.
I'm really sorry to keep going back to this course rep thing. I know you're probably a bit bored about the questions about it, but I'm in a position at the moment for the university which is actually kind of gets a financial benefit for what I do, and kind of the applicants that applied for this role did it more for the financial side rather than the love for the job. So don't you think that offering a financial benefit is going to make more people apply for the monetary side of it, when really you should be aiming to get people that are doing it just for the love of, you know, of their course? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I completely agree with you. That's exactly my point that I was making with one of the earlier course rep questions. I did it because I love it, and I really enjoy going to meetings and being able to talk to staff. I'm going back to running voting in induction week as well, so people can talk to their students and tell them exactly why they want to do it, because they should be doing it because they really enjoy the job, and a monetary incentive isn't the way forward.
The course reps on my course, they do see the benefits from doing it as a job without the monetary, but they don't. I think the monetary would be there just as a sort of incentive for when they don't, like, I think throughout the year it kind of wears off their job, like they don't really see, they kind of stop going to things, and I think that what they should, the monetary would just kind of help be there as like a backing.
I think like what we do to like address that is maybe to put like an interview with them at the beginning of the year, like to see who actually wants to do it for that reason. Because if people come along, they obviously want to do it because they want to make a difference and they want to make a change. And then maybe like at the end give it to them as like just to say a thank you for all the hard work that they've actually done.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There should not be a financial incentive. It should be for people that actually want to have it on their CV to make it look good for them. Again, I think interviews or elections or something along the lines, we need to find the right people for the job that will actually do the job. But no, I completely agree. No financial incentives. Don't agree with that at all.
Hey, thank you so much. I see any more questions from the floor? We've got one from Libby.
This is for Kat. I've read your manifesto, and there's a lot about communication being a real person. What actually would you say were your top 3 academic issues that you want to succeed on in the year? Because I haven't seen that yet.
That's true. I haven't put that much on my manifesto, but that's why these sessions are brilliant, to be able to explain what I want to do. I want to have communication between module leaders, because specifically on my course, we had blocks of labs over in Erasmus Darwin at the same time, which meant courseworking at the same time. And in third year, it's just not practical. So I want to encourage communication between module leaders, course leaders, and then back to their students as well. I want to encourage more tutorial sessions, because I find they're a much better way to learn, because people aren't as afraid to ask questions.
Yes, thank you. Do I see any more questions from the floor? No? Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll leave it there. These candidates will be going over to the city. Thank you ever so much. Oh, no. Oh, damn it. I just missed it. Brilliant. Next up, could we have the, where are we? Clifton. We have Clifton Liaison Officers. Can I see Naz? Yeah, she's there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've now got the hosts of Clifton Campus, the people that are running for your Clifton Liaison Officers. So, let's go. This is their first time on the stage. They've not yet been interviewed and grilled in such a way, so bear with us and bear with them. We will start with Tom. Tom, whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Briefcase. I've got a few points that I'd like to get across to Clifton, like all you can eat breakfast on a Wednesday morning, and better maintenance of the student car park behind the point. I'd also quite like to get more non-sporting activities based on Clifton, potentially like one Wednesday every month or something like that, just to get more people involved, and whether they don't want to go for sport necessarily, and liaise with Briefcase.
Oh, I'm a bit nervous. Hi, I'm Naz, and I'm running for Clifton Liaison, obviously. I just want to make sure that your welfare is completely up to scratch and our voices are heard. I want to represent all of you, and I want your needs to be heard, and I want to be that person. So vote Suzuki to drive Clifton forward. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much to our candidate. Come on, give them a big round of applause. There's only 2 of them. Brilliant. Fantastic. Do I see any questions for anybody? From anyone? For anyone? Anyone? Okay, we'll take one from... Oh,
I got one.
Where?
Oh, you don't... Oh, that's embarrassing, no, I don't.
Let's go back. Matthew will have one.
Oh, yay. Question from Matthew.
With obviously the Heart of Clifton project going on, like, what do you plan to do for like the students that are going to be affected by it? Is that?
Well, there's not really much we can do, but I'd like to try and offer support classes, like try and see if we could get the library potentially opened longer hours at different points to offer like a better service so you can go to use your library, or potentially even get reduced bus fares or something so you can go use the city library, because that's big and that's already sorted out, and it would mean that you actually got the chance to study and revise and do all your work without building.
Hi Matt. What not you, not that one, Matty Scrimshaw. What developments are you specifically talking about? The library or the car park or library? Okay, unfortunately because development has started, it's quite difficult to do so, but I will try to plan it so that look at the times where the people are going, and obviously, like you said, try and get the Clifton Library to open a bit longer as well.
Thank you, candidate. Okay, do I see any more questions on the floor? No? Okay, I've got one come through on Twitter, and this is for Briefcase. What kind of non-sporting activities are you wanting to introduce?
I'd potentially get, like, I know that the maths people do like a games workshop, so like they play board games, so that could be an option, but I'd get part of like the committee that you create as a liaison officer and open up so we have like a voting system to see what other students would actually like to do and all of that kind of stuff, because I'm not sure what you want as students, which is why I would like you to tell me.
Whenever you're ready. Oh, sorry, that was just... okay. Any more questions from the floor? No, you're Katie.
Yeah, go on, Katie. Sometimes setting up a campus liaison committee can be quite difficult. How do you think you'd attract the best kinds of people from this campus to work with you?
I'd like to offer it out to everyone and try and get potentially like a voting system like we have now. So loads of people could run for it, and then you as Clifton students could pick the best candidate and vote who you think would be good for the role, instead of me just picking my friends, because they might not do the best job.
Sorry, Katie. What do you mean by like the right people? What exactly defines the right person, like, as I say?
People that are effective on a committee. Sometimes we don't really get the most amount of people applying to do it, so I just wondered how you'd reach a variety of people to represent everyone.
Okay. I do believe that accessibility is key, so you should be able to be accessed by a lot of people, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or anything. By attracting the right people, obviously you want people to share it, Platform Magazine and everyone. there should be a right interview process for that to happen, and I think that's the main key for it.
Thank you. We've got another question that's coming off the Twitter. That sound like my nan. How are you going to ensure matters such as improving the student car park actually happen? And that's to both of you.
When I went to the UGM meeting last Monday, was it? It has been lobbied through, so I think it's a case of making sure that that completely happens in the right time and no students in Clifton or anywhere are affected by it, because obviously people do commute from city to Clifton for their sports and things, so I want to make sure that no one's affected by it when they're doing the redevelopment.
It realistically goes down to what the university can afford, because it might be a bit costly to actually redo the whole car park, but I'd like to potentially try and get it done over summer or something like that, so it's not when students are using it, or even like over Christmas. You could potentially even get someone else working there just to make sure it all runs smoothly, like to let people in instead of just letting them park wherever and horrible things happening to people's cars if that happens or anything like that.
Brilliant. Thank you both. Do we see any more questions from the floor? I've got one from Chantal at the front here.
Hi. The halls committees have quite a lot of responsibility here, and they don't necessarily make the most of it. How are you going to work with them to help them achieve as much as they possibly can?
We have to get the committee for Clifton campus, and I'd like to get the head reps involved, from both Newhall and Peveril. I'd like to get them on the committee so they can actually show the ideas that have come from their halls to help Clifton get better, and potentially make sure that they have a meeting every term, maybe 2 or 3 times a term, just to make sure we know what the halls want.
To get the halls committee involved, I think it's just a matter of accessibility, communicating with them and making sure everyone is up to date with it. So sending out weekly emails, sending out, when the meetings are, and making sure they do come to it. If they don't come to a meeting, why are they on the committee if they're not committed to it? Fair enough, there are studies to be dealt with, but they should be able to email you saying, unfortunately, we won't be able to make it, and that's fine. But I think it's just a case of just getting them there. Sorry, run out of time.
Brilliant, thank you both. Do I see any more questions from the floor? Oh, I've got one more again from Chantal.
Obviously, being from Clifton, double vision is one of everyone's favourite nights. And working as Clifton liaison, obviously you work with the ENTS committee to try and make it better. What would you do? What would you change about double vision to make it better?
I'm currently on the ENTS committee with yourself and obviously the services, and we are talking about it constantly, how we can make things better. Obviously, there are times when there's loads of studying going on that we can't make it, but I think it's all about promotion, and we need to connect with the other campuses and invite them to Clifton. Fair enough, Brack's far, but surely we can do something to get them coming, City coming. You don't want to be doing the same things all the time in the same campus. Just mix it up a bit.
I've heard that there's something about getting a bus between Brack and Clifton, so Brack students can actually come across. I'd like to try and get that implemented as soon as possible, but I'd also try to get some more promotional stuff put on the TVs that you can find in the City SU, so City students are able to see it, and then potentially get events where they can come across here and we'll have every different hall have a shop, so that includes like Byron, Sandy and all of the others, just so everyone feels like they've got time.
Thank you, candidates. Do I see any more questions? No? I've got one more left on the Twitter feed, and this one's quite a biggie. This is for both candidates. If you were a condiment, what would you be and why? Condiment. Yes, like mustard.
I can't use mustard now.
A sauce. Salt, yeah, salt, pepper.
I'll be a bit of TK sauce, really. Everyone likes TK sauce, tomato ketchup. And I'm really versatile, that's the word.
Probably go barbecue. Like most people like barbecue. It's a bit of a different one, but everyone likes having a little bit of barbecue sauce, and it goes lovely with chicken wings. and rich.
Of course, Robbie, of course.
Brilliant. Well, thank you ever so much to our Clifton liaison, campus officers, elections, people that are running. No one's really paying attention to what I'm saying anyway, so we'll just carry on. Thank you ever so much, guys and girl. Lastly, but not leastly, let's get prepared for VP Sports. Keep your tweets coming in. There's some very interesting ones. Ah, where's Sandeep? Do we have Sandeep here? No? Sandeep might be watching at home. Come on in, take a seat. It's going to get interesting. Yeah. Don't answer it. Okay. Oh, we all comfortable up here, VP Sports? Yeah, we've all fitted on? That's good. Laurie is going to start. You've got 30 seconds now, guys.
Hi guys, thanks for coming today. My name's Laurie Cook. I've been here for 4 years now. I've been president of Rugby League for 2 of them. I've picked up a lot of skills with teamwork and organisation, so I think I'll be perfect for the job.
Hi guys, my name's Paddy and I'm rerunning to be elected for VP Sports. Just to show of hands, how many of you have been or are part of the committee? Okay, cool. One of the things I want to do is increase the interactiveness of the committee training and make you more inspired to do your job a lot better and exceed better and make you more qualified. There's also £70,000 that you guys raise in order to fund your clubs, and this usually comes from bar sponsors. I intend on getting more reliable sponsorship by lobbying the university. Thank you very much.
Hi guys, I'm Tom Mannion. I'm on the sports exec currently, and I've been the social stuff and events organiser of volleyball for 2 years. The 3 things that I want to improve are students having more of the same decisions through their presidents, for example, tour and sports ball, involvement and getting more involvement in sports at all levels, so when people start, if people want to start new sports, and maybe even if they want to join higher up books teams, and celebration of sporting achievements, so making people more aware of our achievements as a whole sports department. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Nathan. I've worked at university for 2 years now as a gym instructor whilst doing my degree, and also represented the uni at box level for 3 years. So I feel like it gives me a good understanding of what's realistic and what's unrealistic. I just want to make small constructive changes to NTSU sport, things that can actually be achieved. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Jess. Sport's been a major part of my life here at Trent. I've been involved in loads of areas through being Vice President Netball. I've been England Netball's University Netball Officer both here and at Uni of. And I've been a youth sport ambassador from when the actual programme started, so I've got a wide knowledge of everything that happens through all different sports at Trent. And if you vote me, I'd love to continue working hard to make sure that sport's the best it can be here.
Hi guys, I'm Ezra. I've been hugely involved with sport now for 4 years at Trent. I aim to increase awareness of sport at Trent and in the local area. I want to build on the new sport programme with more sports getting involved and with free termly sessions for each sport. And I want to boost clubs' finances and performance with one-on-one help for committees and more committee sessions and help clubs get kit sponsorship. Cheers, guys.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much, QandA, for VP. Give them a bit more than that. Come on. We love sports at Clifton. Right, okay, so a general question for all of you. It's quite a long one, so pay attention. Okay, lad culture is something that over the past year has been mentioned more and more. There are claims that there is a strong link between the types of behaviours exhibited with lad culture and the perpetrators being on sports teams. How would you work to ensure that sports teams are welcoming of everybody and promote inclusivity? Okay.
Well, the culture is obviously always out there in the media. The media always aims at students, and well, we just need to remember we're not here to have fun. We're part of the university, part of the sports team. You play the sport to do well, and all the time you're representing your uni, so you want your uni to look the best. And let's face it, if we can look better than the people over at Beeston, we're going to come out on top.
I think there's a lot of emphasis on the social side of sport, and yeah, it has its benefits, but I think there needs to be more emphasis and more promotion on the health benefits and sort of how it heightens everyone's experience here at university. And I think we need to move the promotion and the experience away from maybe the social side, because we know that's a strong structure that's already in place, and maybe get more promotion on the fact that it's got its health benefits as well.
Inclusiveness. We live in a liberal society, so it's got to be freedom and choice. Just as long as you're giving people choice, then obviously you're including everyone. And I think lad culture, I think it's being stamped down on by the uni anyway. When you wear the badge, you represent the uni. And I certainly know this year on tour, like football got banned from tour because of being stupid last year. So I think it's been stamped down pretty well, to be fair.
So yeah, as Nathan mentioned, more promotion of different sports as well. So it's quite, if you see sport as quite a laddie thing because we promote, for example, rugby, football, no offence guys, too much, then there are other sports available. And also the social side has been mentioned. We all hear the bad stories about boxing and playing chicken with trams and stuff like that. If we maybe promote like the better, more of the social side as well, that would be better for the uni lad culture of reducing it.
I think one of the things that's linked in massively with is one of my main manifesto points, which is to make committee training a bit more interactive. I think if you can reach committee on a more personal level and kind of explain to them what the benefits are, being more inclusive rather than things like initiations, which is a dirty word to use. I think teaching people that things like welcome socials are a way of engaging more students rather than necessarily just deterring them and putting them off the sport.
I think Jess covered it quite well by saying it's not just a social aspect. Obviously, sport keeps people fit and healthy. I think the New to Sport campaign over the last couple of years has kept people engaged with letting people just try it, even if they didn't play sport before. So yeah, it's just about promoting more about the health benefits and just having a go at everything.
Thank you, candidates. We've got some questions that have come through on Twitter, so I'll take those first and then I'll go to the floor. So one that's come through, this is to Paddy. Why are you applying for the position again? Some would say that you should have achieved your goals in the previous year.
Okay, well, I think personally it takes a massive amount of time to actually settle into a role, as a lot of the current exec already experience. I think there are still things that I could do and things that I can improve even further. And I think if you were to vote me in, then I'm VP Sports starting from as soon as July comes in, rather than I have all this settling period. I think I can make a lot bigger changes this year rather than just implementing and going through the operational part. I think at the minute...
Thank you, Paddy. We've got another question that is for Ezra. We'll wait for you to get down first. Okay, you say you're going to give committees more support. How will you find time for this?
Yeah, I want to say I have an open door policy, but obviously I won't do. I'm doing a 9 to 5 job. I'm busy sorting stuff out with the sports department. But personally, I don't see it as a 9 to 5 job. I do a sport. I know how much sports train in the evenings. There'll be these evenings. I'm answering emails. I'm going along to their sessions, helping people on a one-to-one level and just committing in general. Because I'm not here for a 9 to 5 job. I'm here to make the sports department and each sport better.
Thank you. I'll take questions from the floor now then as well. So there's a gentleman at the back that had a first question.
Yeah, hi, we've always been talking in the back and we want to know who's got the biggest muscles and can you show us?
Even though that is a very important question, we're not here for candidates' physical appearances, we're here for their manifestos, but we like the interest. We can still pick you out, Ronnie, it's fine. Anyone else got another question that's not to do with candidates busy? We've got Chantel at the front down here.
This question is for Nathan. You said that you think lad culture is being stamped out really well by the uni, and you used football as an example. Yet only a few weeks ago, football were chanting after me and Katie, slags, 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 and loads of other disgusting derogatory chants. So how do you think that's really made a difference?
Yeah, do you know what? I can't defend that whatsoever. That's unacceptable, and I'm sure if you put in a complaint and take it to the sports department, they'll deal with that pretty harshly, because I know for a fact a lot of us tried to get on tour with some other societies this year, and they've absolutely nailed us. So if you took it further, they get punished. Simple as. But you say lag culture. Can I just challenge? Don't forget, when you say lag culture, do you mean in female society as well? Because female societies I've seen have a great time here as well, and it's like it's part of being part of a sports team. You got to have a good time.
Thank you. Okay, I've got another question that's come on Twitter, and this one is to Jess. Jess, how do you think you'll win people over by being the only female running? How do you think you'll win people over by being the only female running?
I think the sport in general is very overrun by men, and there's a lot of underrepresentation here at Cheltenham. Women, like take varsity for example. There's not like how many of women's sports are there actually in varsity that count towards the points? And why should teams like women's rugby lose out to playing at stadium just because men's rugby aren't playing? So I want to push the female sport through a lot more.
Yeah, thank you, Jess. I saw Katie first, and then.
I was going to ask a different one, but going off what Jess just said, I did have one about varsity. So obviously she's already alluded to the fact that women's varsity fixtures often.
Sorry, Katie, can you just slow down a little bit? Sorry.
Okay, the women's varsity fixtures often have less supporters, and it's not a secret. How important do you think that this is to change, and what exactly would you do to make sure that there are more varsity supporters for the female fixtures? That's to everyone.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I've been discussing with the varsity steering group already is potentially introducing kind of alternating who actually plays first. At the minute, the women seem to always play their fixture before the men, which means that there are less available time. By alternating that year on year and making the women the fixture after, I think that would definitely help increase the spectatorship. Thanks.
One of the points of my manifesto is to try and bring back this varsity season ticket. I think with saving money as well for the students, it would also promote the smaller events during varsity. So, okay, women's rugby is like the opener for men's rugby, but if you've got a season ticket, then you might as well go along and watch that as well, and increase people to go watch it, and also like increase people to like know what's happening with women's rugby at the uni.
Obviously, I think like promoting people to take part in sport as a whole is important, and one of my manifesto points is to promote unofficial varsities. So maybe if there are female sports that don't have a current varsity, would like to take part in one, and the committee's organised one, then I would promote it more. Also, with women's basketball this year, it wasn't very well promoted that they actually started. That it was promoted that they started earlier, but not really given a reason to go early, because the main shows from cheerleading and dance were actually during the men's half-time. Dance did take part, yeah, I know.
Varsity is a massive one for me to increase ticket sales, especially with the female sport. And for me, it's a foot soldier approach. I would love to sell tickets, get out there, meet people. What Forest do here when they bring a wad of tickets, they come out, they say, do you want a Forest? I'm terrible for it. If you pressure me to buy a ticket, not pressure as such, but I'll probably be like, yeah, because I'm a little bit lazy to go on the internet and order one or come to the SU at a specific time to get your varsity ticket. So I would like a more foot soldier approach to go and actually sell the tickets.
I think a lot of it's just about promotion. I mean, you often see these videos that come leading up to varsity, like these unofficial videos, official videos, and a lot of it is based mainly around the males, and I think you need to push out, like, get on the screens in the SU and maybe and potentially put some of the women's sports into the bigger stadiums. So why should netball be played at Clifton and not at Capital FM? Why did basketball get the chance to play theirs at Capital FM, and why should netball just be put in the sports hall? Like, you need to put more emphasis on the female sports and the fact that they're actually coming towards our point.
Thanks, Jess.
Yeah, just the coverage started off, so I want to work with Platform, Fly and Trent TV, get money in there from individual clubs so they can cover it, and then helping the committees just get the money in there so they can run maybe their first unofficial one. If they show they've got the people down, then that's it for next year. I'll look into building it for next year so we can get them into the Capital FM or get them over Uni of, just swap it up a bit, get the money in, work with each committee and hope that every club, no matter how small, no matter what gender they are, they have the chance to show that they're part of this uni.
Thank you, Ezra. I'll go for the young gentleman at the back, Liz. Don't put your sad face on, you can still ask. Yes, you're turning round. You are young.
I'm involved in the sports team myself at the moment, and as a team we don't do very well in books, so therefore the university funding isn't as much as it would be for a team that does have success in books. So therefore we can't get the coaching and time we need to do better in books, and it's a vicious circle that needs, I believe, the university to step in to get the funding to take us to a level where we can do better. So therefore, do you understand what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, so how would you address that issue?
Well, obviously, each year different sports clubs may struggle with points, struggle with their funding, and it's just the funding is something to boost you. But if you are struggling, if you put a case forward to the sports department, I'd work with the likes of Shem and Sandro, show these want this to happen, give them the chance, and they'll get the points for you. They're not going to do it on their own. And I'll work with every single sports club who want to play at their highest level to help them get the books points, so as a uni and a club, we both get the best.
Okay. Can I just ask candidates not to name people that are working within the union or the university?
I think for that, maybe look at your lower levels, at your participation levels, and maybe set up things like IMS leagues and that sort of thing. I mean, I know our club personally, we get a lot of income from our intramural and our development squads. So maybe getting them in, getting them paying subs and stuff will boost your income, and therefore you'll be then able to use that money to go towards your Bucks teams.
Yeah, this is a main point for me on my manifesto. I actually want to work with someone like yourself to do fundraising to help clubs self-sustain. So you can raise money and stop relying so heavily on sponsorship, so we can help get more revenue, more income into your club, so you can get coaches, you can get that contact time you need to obviously get higher up in books, because I appreciate what you're saying, but that's the main thing I'd love to do, to be fair.
As Ezra said, like, you can have difficult seasons, you can have various reasons to why you don't do as well in this year as the year before. So for example, we have scholars drop out, we had 2 people return to America, and like, our quality dropped after that. But if you can make a valid case to the sports department as to how the extra funding could improve your results and how it could get better results, and maybe show evidence of that as well, then I would like them to provide more funding.
I do agree with Nathan's point in terms of getting more fundraising activities, but how are you actually going to go about doing that? Linking back into my main manifesto point, to improve the training for committees, so enable you to be empowered into building your own fundraising events, knowing how to go about lobbying the university and getting more funding that way.
Well, we had a similar issue this year where we struggled to pay our coach due to lack of funding. I think it's the whole point of working with the sports department, but also with the fundraising, as Nathan mentioned, just linking it all together so that you guys do get enough funding over the years, not just from the university, but also from yourselves, by i.e. backpacking or anything like that sort of thing.
Brilliant, thank you, candidates. I see, I'll go with Liz first and then I'll go back over to Matthew.
Okay. Societies are now putting on quite large-scale varsity events. For example, varsity darts has about 600 to 700 people coming along, and it could be bigger. Would you be interested in including society varsities in the official varsity series? And why?
Well, as you mentioned, varsity darts has been a massive success over the last couple of years. So obviously that would be one of the main societies to probably be put into it. Not just for the fact that it's a good event to have, but also the fact that it could have massive benefits for financial raising for the charity itself. So yeah, definitely societies would be a great addition.
I think it'd be worth working with next year's VP activities if I get elected in, to seeing what they actually want out of those varsity fixtures. If, for example, they want it to be a big messy event, then that doesn't really go with the actual entailing of the varsity series. If they were to kind of make it a little bit more upmarket and stamp down a little bit more on behavioural issues around it, then I think it would be a very good addition in.
Can I just add, I'm talking about all kind of societies, so I'm not just, I mentioned darts, but any society, varsity.
I think it would have to be handled case by case, because you can't just generalise between all the societies. In the case of darts, we know it's been very successful over the years, but if another society that's smaller and hasn't had an unofficial varsity yet, were to try and hold an official varsity, it would be difficult to justify it. There would be some financial advantage to the charity, but maybe not as much as intended for an official event.
Yeah, another main one for me. I want to increase it by 2 sports into the varsity series, and that would be darts and cheerleading, because it's a no-brainer. It would sell tickets. It's a fantastic event. Anyone who went to darts this year, it was an awesome event. So yeah, for me, it's a charity event. Let's sell as many tickets as possible, and they would definitely do that.
Touching on both those points, I think, yeah, maybe look at how much income we're actually getting from them and see whether they're feasible. I mean, I know cheerleading for a start had a bigger response than basketball did on the night, and things like that, just getting more awareness out of them. And if they're proving popular, then why not? It's a good chance for the university to showcase other talents other than sports. So.
Yeah, like everyone else said, obviously dance and cheer, they did great jobs this year, the official varsities, and also I know like belly dance helping out at volleyball and futsal varsity coming up, but also like you said, all societies, so debating, they have a huge widespread base, so work activities, even if I can't get something against Uni of, my main point is to increase awareness of all clubs in the local area, so if Uni of don't want this varsity, don't want to make some money, look for a club in the area, look for someone who wants the opportunity to work with Trent, put an event on, get money in, whether it's for VAG or the club, it's great either way.
Thank you. Candidates. We'll go to Matthew. Come on, Liz. You got your question.
Mine's to do with like bar contracts that you do at the beginning of the year. Obviously, like sorting out mine because I did it for the club I helped to like run. Like we had some unfair terms put in there, like minimum bar tabs and everything, which is very hard to do. Like and hard to like for the person to like judge. I just wondering like what sort of things you're going to put into place to stop these unfair terms and unfair contracts coming in.
Does everyone get that? Cool.
Well, I mean, I was a social secretary for 2 years, and I know like certain landlords they push certain things, and I would know how to help on like a committee one-to-one level, help you avoid these landlords, or if they're pushing for that thing, help you push them back down so you can demand different things. Because at the end of the day, we all know they make a lot more out of us than we do for them. And also to help with sponsorship, not just looking at bars. Like this year, we got offers from sponsorship from barbers, from a coffee shop. So just help people get money in that way and not rely on people like bars who will demand just outrageous things.
I think as well, it's just getting awareness out to the committees through their training that this isn't a problem you should have to face on your own. So whoever's VP Sport, they've got the knowledge from being in their own sports clubs, alongside the sports departments, your SDOs, they're all there to support you during this process, so you shouldn't have to do it on your own. And if there are problems, then we're here to help you tackle them.
Yeah, I think we've got to work in relation with one another and try and push those barriers, because I'm very keen on the fact that what's the worst someone can say? They can say no, or you go and try somewhere else, and you just keep trying until you get somewhere that gives you what you're looking for. But yeah, you have to just try and push them barriers.
One of the teams I actually look after had this problem, and my advice to them was simply to work with the other teams that are sponsored by that bar and just show a united front. Because if someone wants to put, say, minimum spending and none of the teams that go there want it, then if you all say no, they're more likely to take it away than if only one of you says no. So helping committees work together with other committees.
This year I was notified by a number of committees that a particular series of bars was asking for a minimum spend, and I approached the manager that runs all these bars and managed to persuade him to take that out. So I've already proven that I can do that, and hopefully I should improve communication and show to people that I can actually go out and do that.
Again, same, we had this issue for a couple of years in a row now. But it's the sort of thing where if you talk to the management, you can pull other events. So like we did a Christmas meal instead, so that we didn't actually have to go into a bar and spend money on booze. We could actually hold other events, to watch rugby at the club, to do whatever you guys want to do at one of their bars. So there's a lot of ways of getting around it, and it's just a matter of speaking to the VP of Sport and speaking to the guys that run the bar.
Brilliant, thank you, candidates. To see another question? I'll go down to Josh first, and I'll come over to Katie.
So, a question to all candidates. This year, the American football team, we didn't have our varsity when it was planned due to problems with Harvey Haddon Stadium. What are you guys thinking of doing in order to combat these potential issues if they come up, or to put on a contingency plan in terms of the varsity event?
This is actually one of my main points of my manifesto on improving the branding of varsity. If we could come up with a contingency plan for each event that happens during varsity, it'd be much better. As rugby league, we were in the same boat as you guys. Harvey Hadden had obviously broken their stand. Although we were able to carry on doing our event, obviously it didn't happen for you guys. But it's just the fact if we work together and come up with a contingency plan, set it at a different venue or set it at a different date, just so confusion is at the lowest.
I think, as we always said, contingency plan. I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned this year is come up with a contingency plan and actually planning in advance. One of the things I want to do is plan for years on. Where the clubs are in the big stadiums, to book out the Capital FM for the next 3 years, to sort out Meadow Lane for the next 2 years, to book out Harvey Hadden, find out whether that's actually going to be available or not, and sort something out from the off.
I think considering the situation, it was actually handled rather well because Harvey Hadden, we've used it for years now and it was expected to be, safe. However, I do think one of the main problems was the promotion of the varsity after the event, because the promotion for the event at Harvey Hadden was top notch. There was loads everywhere, but as soon as it moved to Clifton, there wasn't much hype about it. The buzz had gone, so maybe that would be one of the key parts, just to get more people there.
Yeah, it sounds a bit boring to reiterate the whole contingency plan thing, but it would be to have a contingency plan. What I would ask is, I would want to know, would you be happy if that happened again to cancel it and then obviously set another date and then promote it really well so you try and get the same crowd participation? Because would you be happy to, if the contingency plan was not as good as the Harvey Hadden Stadium, you had to play on some park, some sort of, would you be happy with that? Yeah, exactly. No? Don't know, cool. Yeah, so promotion to go out, make sure people that got tickets are going to.
Sorry, I'm going to stop you there, Nathan. You've had your 30 seconds.
Yeah, again, it's just to go on what everyone else was saying, really, that just make sure there's always a backup place. So, literally, so we plan for every possible thing to happen. So, if we find out a couple of days before it's not there, then we need to get out there, get the promotion out, get ready for the next date and the next place that we'll already have ready in place for when or if it occurs.
So yeah, contingency plan, promotion, but in this promotion, looking at, as Laurie said, bringing back that season ticket. The season ticket this year is why I think a lot of events don't have a big arena are missing things. So you get the season ticket back in, that's incentive for people to go across, it's free, they don't need to pay something else. And also just the transport, obviously the money you would have paid out for that venue, get that money back, get free transport, get something else over there to help them come over, a stall, just something for them to do what isn't just a sport.
Brilliant, thank you. Did I see Katie? We've got a question with Katie.
Okay. Over the past year, different unions have come under fire for types of fancy dress that are not only allowed to go ahead, but the types of fancy dress that the officers also go out in. An obvious example would be something like pimps and hoes, but this also extends to costumes deemed as racist, such as Mexicans and Red Indians. Do you think that these types of themes come with these kinds of connotations, and how would you go about monitoring the types of fancy dress that each club promotes?
So from a social side, if something got reported, so say one society went out as a racial stereotype, which should never be done, everyone should be equal. If this happens, it gets reported once, that's their first strike, they're allowed to. If they have a second strike, then from then on, every time they go out, they have to let someone on the exec know, so let VP Sports know what they're planning on going out as, and they have to have the all clear. And if they try and do something else, that's strike 2, strike 3, and that's funding loss. People shouldn't be trying to make fun of other people. We should be proud of the union, respectable.
Time, sorry Ezra.
I think it should go back to at the very start when we have committee training at the end of this year. Maybe have separate training for social sex and outline, make sure rigid outlines of what's acceptable and what's not, and just drill into them the fact that at the end of the day, yeah, it is a night out, but you're also representing the university even when you're not actually on campus. So just more like a stronger committee training at the beginning.
Yeah, again, it's to do with your committee. Your president's got to say yes or no to your social set. I mean, we all know what's right and wrong. Like Prince Harry went as a Nazi, we know it's wrong, so just don't do it. Like, just literally, the committee have just got to have better training to say okay to it, yes or no.
I think, like, reiterating committee training with social sex, I think another point that needs to be raised is obviously they don't have total control over how their club members go dressed out. They do, so maybe just educating the club members as well, telling social sex to tell them what is right and wrong, what is acceptable. So it would be more committee training, as mentioned before.
I think if you were to go out with a big long list of things you can go out as and things you can't, then you're just gonna lose that following. You're gonna lose that rapport with the students, and people aren't gonna listen. People are gonna do it anyway. I think you need to warn people that if someone is actually offended by it, they can report it, and there's going to be consequences for that. I think it's so hard to account for all the different fancy dress things that you could go as, and like in case you even forget something, if someone's going to complain about it, then that's when it is a problem.
I think with like the Welcome Week form, I think that works well with the fact that you have to tell the VP what sort of theme you're going to wear. At the end of the day, if you've been elected as president or on the committee of your club, you've got to have some sort of common sense about you. But if there is like a grey area, as you said, Mexican sort of thing, it's a big theme. If you have got a bit of a grey area, then you can go and speak to us sort of thing and ask us if it's good or not.
Thank you, candidates. I've got one last question. We'll take Laurie's, and I've got one more on the Twitter feed. Run, Liz.
Anyone who wants to be part of the team have to pay compulsory gym membership. How would you go around that? How would you go around that for people who don't want gym membership and just want to be part of the team?
Well, obviously, if someone wants to compete at Bucks levels, they would have to join the gym. But there's things in place like New to Sport where you can try out stuff like badminton, touch rugby, netball. Just so like if you aren't ready to commit to a club and like commit to a gym membership, you can actually still play sports and enjoy yourself. And that's where like you bring in members of clubs to help coach the New to Sport sort of activities during the weeks.
I think it's important 2 points. First of all, to make it as aware as possible of what you're actually getting for your gym membership. And second of all, one of my manifesto points is to bring up making sure everyone's got good value for money membership. So if you're one of the low grade clubs who trains off campus, you don't get much of a grant allocation, then you pay less of a membership fee for that. And I think that's a really important thing, that everyone's actually getting their value for money.
So, as mentioned previously, I think one of the main things as well should be like promoting why you should get a gym membership, how it isn't just about the gym, how it is about sports, and why you should join sports teams. If the sports teams don't make their sports appealing, then less people are going to join. So maybe committee training as well for the Freshers' Fair, things like that. And also, I think that, I want to run New to Sport into halls competitions. The reason why it's into halls and not intramural is because if you get people when they're in freshers, they'll be more likely to stay on for their sports.
Yeah, it's letting people know what they get within that membership. I'm not going to lie, it's not going to change. If you're going to join a sports club, you will pay the gym membership. It's just not financially viable to not do that, because at least half the members that are in sports clubs make up the whole membership throughout. There's about 6,000 students that have memberships, and 3,000 of those take part in box clubs. But you've got to think of it that money goes back into you as students. It goes back into the facilities, resources, your sports clubs. It goes back into you.
Again, just to reiterate, it just needs more promotion of the fact that gym membership isn't just a gym membership. It's your physio, it's your coaches, it's everything else that you get, facilities. But I think maybe for those that want to still be part of a team but don't want to pay that money, I'd like to introduce like volunteer officers for each sport that then rally around and get people into participation in IMS leagues, in pay and play sessions, and just get people into the club that way rather than competitively and having to pay the extra money.
So yeah, obviously if you want to play in a Bucks team, you want to be at the best level, so you want that gym membership. But if you are just trying out a sport, then I want to offer the New Sport program, not just for the small sports, for all the big sports. So you can try it maybe for the first term, first month, and then after that, look at them paying the gym membership if you want to play on a regular basis, and that comes at a reduced rate. So obviously you're not paying for the same amount of time, so you shouldn't be paying as much as everyone else has.
Thank you ever so much, candidates. We've got one last question that's come up on Twitter. This is open to everybody. Because sports is such a juicy category, I want to know, what are your favourite fruit juices and why?
Personally, I'm cranberry. I'm all about the antioxidants. I'm an athlete. I build my immune system back up after every game.
I personally go for tropical because it's got a bit of everything in there and it's a bit more exciting than just your average orange juice.
I was going to say, it might not look like it gives my skin complexion, but tropical, yeah.
I'm going to say orange juice helps wake up in the morning, gets vitamin C so you don't get scurvy, so it's an all-important health benefit right there.
I would say that the one that I like the most is probably mango, because it reminds me of the Rubicon advert. Who like the mango? Who like the mango? Whoa, who like the mango? Cheers.
Yeah, probably my favourite juice is pineapple. I mean, it's a bit different, it's exotic, and yeah, it just gets everyone happy to miss. So.
Thank you ever so much for the VP Sports candidates. Let's give them a round of applause. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Clifton, but all of these candidates will be going over to City. So, keep a look on the Twitter feed, keep the questions coming in, we'll still be going live-ish, maybe, don't know, it could be recorded. See you later.